I am finishing row number 8. Perfect. The instructions now say to continue the decrease in this manner every other row. You are going to either do a knit 3 together or a purl 3 together right in the center, which we already did. I already showed you how to do a knit 3 together, a purl 3 together. And the rest of the stitches are always worked in the ribbing pattern, so you continue doing that knit 1 purl 1. If the stitch below it is a knit 1, make sure you do a knit 1. If the stitch is a purl 1, make sure you do a purl 1. So go ahead and finish the decrease portion until you have 9 stitches on that knitting loom. So go ahead and finish the decreases until you have 9 stitches on the knitting loom, and then we can do the last 4 rows of just a regular knit 1 purl 1 ribbing pattern, and then we're ready for the bind off. So let's get to that point. Finish the decreases again until you have 9 stitches on that knitting loom. Here I am. I have completed all of my decreases. I am on the very last one. I just want to do the last one with you. And here we go. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. I have reached where I need to do a knit 3 together. I'm going to use the whole 3, pop them off, put the stitch back on, purl 1, knit 1, knit 1. After the last decrease, the instructions tell us to do 4 rows of ribbing. So go ahead and do that. So knit 1 purl 1 for 4 rows. Here we are almost at the end of the 4th row. After this row we have to bind off, and we're just simply going to use the basic bind off method. So I am going to knit the first one, knit the first 2 stitches actually. Perfect. Once I knit that second one, I'm going to put that loop over on the first, lift the bottom over the top, move that one over. Perfect. Repeat. Now on this last one, we are going to again move it over, lift the bottom loop over the top. Now this one, last loop, we're going to place it on a crochet hook, but first cut the working yarn, leaving about 10 to 12 inches. And you're going to place the last loop on a crochet hook. Perfect. Remove your knitting loom to the side. We are done with that part. And now we're going to create the loop that we're going to use for our buttonhole for our button to be held. So with that loop that was on the last peg, we are going to do 6 single crochets. On the last one, you are going to hook it to the other side. Simply find that first stitch, pass your crochet hook through, hook the working yarn, pass it through the stitch, and then through the chain. Now go ahead and hook the working yarn again and pass it all the way through that chain. Tighten it, and that's the loop that we're going to use for our button. Now it is time to weave in the end, so go ahead and weave in that end through the wrong side of the item. Now your headband will look like this. As you can see, it's pretty stretched out, so now you're gonna need to make it look a little bit better, and by this is we're gonna set the stitches. So to set the stitches, you're simply going to grab the headband at each end from the cast on edge to the bind off edge. You're simply going to tug to set those stitches. Perfect. Just like that. Tug until all the stitches look nice and even. You can also block it afterwards. Let me get you a different angle of this. I'm moving the camera a little bit up and tilting it. Here we go. Here's your cast on edge. It doesn't have the loop that we created with the crochet. The increases the part that we knit straight ribbing, and this is the decreased portion that we did. Here's the loop for a buttonhole, and now all you need to do is place a button on this side. Then we're going to use that other loop from the other side to close it up. So let's add the button. I already have a tapestry needle threaded for this purpose. Just find a place for your button. Go ahead and sew it into place. I am using the same yarn that I use for my headband. However, you can use any other yarn that you want to if you want to create a nice contrasting stitch pattern with your button. Just gonna go 3 times, just like that. Once on the wrong side, I am going to make a square knot with the tails. And then I am going to just weave in the ends through that wrong side. So go ahead, weave in the ends. That should suffice on that side. Go ahead and weave in the other end, the beginning yarn tail end, and the last tail end. Here we go. I have finished weaving in all the ends. Tug on it, close, pass that button through. Here we go. There's our headband. Now that the button is on it, we are ready to just finish it off. And all you need to do is add a flower right there. I have put the link down below in the information for this pattern, for the crochet flower that I followed. There's a YouTube video here, and I followed it, and I was able to complete my little flower that you see right here. And all you do is you can simply sew it in place, and I'm just gonna show you how I sew mine in place using the caston tail from that flower. So I just find a spot and simply just whip stitch it into place. Another thing that you can do is put a button on your headband, a button that is the same size as the little hole in the flower, and then you can just interchange flower colors whenever you desire. For this one, I'm just gonna whip stitch it into place for you to see our finished headband. And on the wrong side, I'm just gonna weave in the ends. Perfect. I'm gonna clip it as close as I can. Perfect. And here we have it. We have the button that we added, and now the flower. And here's your headband, nice and finished. I hope you enjoyed creating this headband with me, and I am very thankful that we were able to translate this pattern onto the knitting looms, and now we can create tons of different headbands with this excellent pattern. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.